So, man, the longest time I've ever spent with my dad, biological father, was actually the 3 weeks leading up to his passing. So, unfortunately, my biological father was not present in me and my twin sister's life, really at any point. Um, so, we were raised without him. And, the stories that we heard about our dad, some good, some bad, um, mostly bad. We didn't have the opportunity to figure out if those stories that were bad about him were true or not. We just heard a lot of different things about him. Most of all, we just knew he was not present. You know, um, so being raised by our great aunt, me and my twin sister, I was in the home with two females. Never seen a male figure in the house like that. So to actually grow up or to live as a child without having that male figure, it didn't start weighing on me until I started getting a little older, around like my early teens, when I started realizing, wait a minute, like the only male figure that I know of and knew of was, my pastor. That was the closest dad figure, man figure that I knew and seen on a daily basis every Sunday, and sometimes on Wednesday nights when we went to church. And that's how I really learned how to be a man somewhat, because that was the closest figure. But for my biological father, um, I he wasn't present. So um, they grew a level of hate grew in me that I didn't even realize I had until the weeks of his death, leading up to the weeks of his death. I didn't realize how much I hated my father. I really did not realize. I didn't even realize that I had hate in my heart for my dad. Um, I knew I strongly disliked him, but no, I started realizing, no, I really hate this man. Like, if I heard his name or if he was mentioned, I would I would cringe, or I would immediately become hostile or upset, angry, just by hearing his name. And I've realized that there was a strong, 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 strong level of hate in my heart for my biological father. Um, I never forget one time when he finally did officially show up in our life. Um, it was so momentarily. We heard that he lived in Queens, New York, which is, if you live in New York, that's one of the boroughs, one of the five boroughs. And Queens is right next door to Brooklyn, especially in the part of Queens that we heard he lived in, literally was like right next door to Brooklyn, not too far where we lived. And when we heard that, I used to be like, and he's still like, you still not trying to come and see your children, or see about your children, or see about your twins, kind of come get to know us, something, right? But finally, one day he did show up in our lives, by way of a phone call. We spoke to him. Phone call was very short, very brief, and he said, "I'm gonna come see y'all." And he already knew where we were and where we lived, um, and let's just say it didn't happen. I remember talking to him on the phone, on the house phone, and at this point, we were about 19, 18, maybe, when this happened. So we're actually young adults at this point, me and my twin sister, and I'm like, okay, well, I was so happy to speak to him, yet still angry, if that's such a thing. I was happy and excited that, man, I spoke to my dad for the first time. He's alive. He's still with us, and he's making progress. He's trying to, you know, cause us to become father and son again, maybe, right? My hopes. And I'll never forget, I spoke to him on the phone, and he said to me, he said, Gerard, I want you to meet me at the White Castle on Atlantic Avenue, I said, Dad, I want to see you. I want to see you. Like, I really want to see you. Like, I just want to sit down and talk. Like, I want to see you. Yeah. He said, all right, Gerald, this is what we're gonna do. He said, I want you to meet me on the Atlantic Avenue at the White Castle on Atlantic Avenue. And man, I was excited. I was totally excited. And I never forget my great aunt saying to me, after I told her, she was like, Jarrell, don't get your hopes up. I'm not trying to, think negative towards this. You know, I'm not trying to kill your joy. I'm just giving you reality. And I'm trying to protect you. And the way she felt to protect me was to make me realize, like, Jarrell, don't get your hopes up. But I'm like, nah, he said he gonna meet me on Atlantic Avenue at the White Castle. And I never forget, this was a Tuesday. And that's when we were supposed to meet up. Now, the White Castle was a distance from my home in Brooklyn, New York. And I walked there. I walked there. And I was excited the entire walk. Like, man, I was excited. I was nervous. I was just all emotionally all over the place. But most of all, I was just like, man, I'm finally going to meet my dad. So I get to the White Castles, and our meeting time was 3 o'clock. That was the meeting time. It was summertime. I'll never forget this. It was summertime, Tuesday in the summertime, and the meeting time was 3 o'clock. I got to White Castle at 2:30. I got there ahead of time. And I remember the walk there, I was just talking to myself, like, yeah, like I'm finally getting ready to meet my dad. I'm excited. I'm overjoyed. I'm nervous because I don't know what he looked like. I don't know what it's going to be like. What am I going to ask him? What is he going to say to me? Are we going to hug or shake hands? Like, how are we going to introduce ourselves to each other? Like, how am I going to know it's him when we get there? Is he going to know it's me when he get there? Like, all kind of thoughts. But most of all, I'm excited about meeting my dad. I get there at 2:30, and I'm like, well, I'm early, so it's all good. I'm sitting there. 3 o'clock comes. I'm looking at the door. No Carlton. 3:15. Look at the door. No Carlton. 3:30. Everybody that walks through the door, I'm like, is that him? Is that him? Is that him? 3:30. No Carlton. 4 o'clock. No Carlton. 4:30. No Carlton. 5 o'clock. No Carlton. 5:30. No Carlton. 6 o'clock. No Carlton. I never will forget this. I literally stayed in White Castle all the way until 7 p.m. that night, waiting, hoping, praying that something happened. He got held up and he's still on his way. Carlton never showed up. From 3 o'clock, I waited all the way until 7 o'clock that night. He never showed up. The walk back home was so different from the walk there. The walk back home was just literally, I felt devastated, betrayed. Um, so many thoughts was going through my mind, like, I just felt, dag, he did it again. It, he did it again. He did it again. He left me again. As a matter of fact, never showed up. Like, he don't love me. He was only talking because, we were on the phone. He didn't mean nothing that he said to me. And my walk back home was just so depressing, distort, disappointing. Most of all, it grew into anger. The closer I got back to my house, I'll never forget, it grew into anger. It went from feeling sad and just like, oh man. By the time I got back to my house, because that walk was like about a 45-minute walk, like literally, it turned into anger by the time I got back to Pennsylvania Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. And my mom asked me, what happened? And I hated the fact that she was right about this. And she could tell something was wrong. She said, did he show up? I didn't even answer. She said, he didn't show up. And I was like, he didn't show up. And she said, she hugged me. I'll never forget that she hugged me and she said, Jarrell, you're going to be okay. You've gone this long and you've come this far without him, and you will continue to go further without him. Those words in the moment, I know she said it to soothe things over and to encourage me but honestly, it meant nothing to me. Those words in that moment meant nothing to me because now I'm angry. I'm what? You don't want nothing to do with your son. I'm not good enough for you. What did I do to you that you did this to me? I gave you an opportunity to, fix things, and the first opportunity I give you, you mess it up. The first chance I give you to kind of open up my heart and let you in, you mess it up. You trample over it. Anger, 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 angry to the core, angry to where I just literally, I never forget, I took sick after that. I was always sick as a kid. I never forget, I took sick after that. I was in the hospital literally for another week due to being sick. And I really believe that week I was in the hospital, I took ill, it's because of I was so angry that my emotions started to trigger my illness, and I was just angry, angry. So I did not hear from Carlton um, for about another, I want to say, 3, 4 months. And finally, when he did call, I didn't want to hear nothing from him. Like, there was nothing at this point that this man could say to me. Like, we're good. Keep going on about your life, bro. I've been good this far. I'm gonna be good further. Like, I don't need you. I don't need you. That was my stance. I don't need you, bro. Like, stay on your side of the fence. I'll stay on mine. Do you? I do me. But just leave me alone. I don't care who you are to me. You're not my dad. You're not my father. You're just a man who planted a seed. And I really grew such a anger towards him during that time. So 2023 comes. I'm now a full grown man, married with children at this point. And matter of fact, before that, before I can even go there, I never forget he showed up to my sister's baby shower, my twins' baby shower. I'll never forget this. And my sister was having her child, and they was like, "Yo, Jarrell, like, dad is gonna be at the baby shower." I'm like, ugh, man, like my sister, my twin sister, that's my heart, yo. So she talked to me. She was like, Jarrell, like, just please come, and be cordial. You don't have to, do all the extra. Just be cordial to him. This, that, and the third. My biological mom was actually there as well. And we got there, my family and I was like, "What's up, Dad?" I never called him out his name, never called him Carlton. I still called him Dad. I was like, "What's up, Dad?" Yo, what's up, Jarrell? What's up, Jarrell, man? And now in between this time, we did see each other because I'm kind of like paraphrasing. So in between this time, we've seen each other. So at this point, he was like, "What's up, Jarrell? Look at you, man. You still handsome, looking like your mama." All that kind of stuff. The little talk. And you know, for a moment during that party, that baby shower, I felt some type of I don't know. I felt like, oh man, maybe I should give him another chance. The grandkids are here. We're all here. We're vibing. We're having a good time, this and the third. So I look and I'm like, where's, I asked Janelle, my twin, I said, "Where's your father?" And she said, "I don't know." Because I wanted to talk to him. I'm looking to talk to him at this point. Like, we're going to step outside, have a father son talk. You know what I mean? And I go looking for him, and he's not there. So I'm like, "Janelle, where's your father?" She's like, "I don't know. He was sitting over there or whatever. You don't see him." I asked my mom, I said, "Mom, where's that?" And she was like, "Jarrell, there's only one place he could be." Right around the corner from my sister's house was a liquor store. When my mom said to me, Jarrell, there's only one place your father could be, I automatically knew the liquor store. She said, Jarrell, go get your father. Like, we already knew, like, there's only one place he could possibly be right now. He's not outside the party. He's not in the party nowhere, the baby shower nowhere. There's only one other place. It was walking distance. She said, Jarrell, go get your father. I'll never forget. I jumped in my truck. I drove around the corner. And sure enough, my father is in the liquor store. I'm like, Dad, get out of here. Like, why? Like, come on. You're here for your daughter and your grandchildren. Like, come on. Why do you feel like you had to come over here and get your Jarrell? You know, I need me a bottle. I need me a bottle. I gotta have me a bottle. I need my bottle. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Not realizing that for him, in order for him to be coherent, which is crazy, and for him to be cool and preserve, he needed that bottle for him. I was just like, unbelievable. Like, I brought him back to the house. I was like, Dad, you're like, you gotta stop. And we had a little hash out there, like, I'm still your father. You don't tell me what to do. I'm like, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. It's you lucky that I'm even concerned about you in this moment. Because the truth of the matter is, there's really nothing in my heart to be concerned about you. Because right now, I don't care if you drink the whole bottle and drop out here dead. That's how I felt in that moment. Like, I mean, I'm angry. I'm still angry. I'm still bitter. Like, bro, I'm here helping you. I'm your son trying to help you when you're the father. Who's the father here? Like, I felt like I was the father. And that's the last time we spoke until January 2023. I get a call from my biological mom. Hey, Jarrell, your dad is sick. As a matter of fact, this is around the time COVID was happening. And automatically I thought it was COVID. And at that time we couldn't go to hospitals. We couldn't, all that stuff was going on. And I think at that time, no, actually we could, because it was just like passing or something like that. And he was in Jamaica Hospital in Jamaica, Queens. And she called me and I was just like, okay, she said, Jarrell, he has no clothes up there. He has nothing. And nobody can go up there. Only one person go up there. And I'm like, I don't know what you calling me for. Like, first of all, he has at that time two other daughters. My biological brother on my dad's side, um, he had already passed. And I'm like, we got an older sister. Like, she know more about him and had more time with him and her childhood than we did. Call her. Jarrell, your dad is sick. Don't do that. And I'm just like, what you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? So she was like, here's his number. Call up to the hospital and talk to him. He'll love to hear you. Y'all, I literally struggled with. My wife was like, babe, you need to call him. Just call him. And I wrestled with it, y'all. Pastor, child of God, man of God, prophet, all of that. I wrestled with that. Heck no. For what? In my head, I'm like, he's paying for all the wrong he did. I was just so angry, y'all. So I finally said, you know what, I'll call him. I called him. My twin sister was like, Jarrell, please call daddy. I called him. He was like, hey, what's up, son? Yeah, I'm in here, man. I don't know what's going on. Da 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 da. They can't figure out what's happening with me. This, that, and the third. I said, Dad, did you eat? I'm not hungry, son. I'm cool. Da da da. So, paraphrasing, he's sick now. He's getting sick by the week, by the days, sicker by the days. And I'll never forget, for the last 3 weeks of his life, um, every Sunday after I got finished preaching, I felt compelled, literally, even being angry. I felt compelled to go to the hospital to be with my dad. Mind you, he's never done nothing for me. He's never been there for me. Anytime he did say he was going to do something, it never happened. And I never forget, God dealt with my heart. And I was angry at God too, because I was just like, this man has done nothing for me. This man has never been there. This man gave me up as a kid. This man never came looking for his children. He's sick now, and now I have to run to the rescue. I dealt with my heart, and I will never forget. Every Sunday after church, I will ask one of my sisters, "Hey, take me to the hospital." I will go to the hospital, and I will sit with my dad for a little while. And he became so ill that he could not talk or anything. At one point, they had tubes down his throat. And I remember him. I remember sitting in the room, and it was just me and him. And I just literally felt in that moment like, Dad, I know you can hear me. And as he was laying there, I said, Dad, I want you to know, in case you don't know who this is Jarrell, your son. And I said to him, Dad, I forgive you. I kept saying it to him. I said, Dad, I forgive you. I forgive you. Um, Still angry, but I felt like he needed to hear, Dad, I forgive you. Long story short, he dies. And everybody's calling on me now. He had no life insurance. Um, Nobody, my twin sister was there. I want to say my twin sister was there. She was present, and she was doing everything that she could do. Um, my older sister never showed up, never called, nothing. And I understand. I get it. I understand why, and I get it. I get it. And he had no life insurance. Nobody had money. The only person that had money was me. And they was like, "What we gonna do?" And they was like, I remember my grandmother saying, "Well, we're gonna just cremate him and let it be." And I was just like, "Nah, we're not gonna do that." My dad, I remember saying this. My dad lived this entire life with no dignity. I'm not gonna let him die like this and go out like this and go to the grave the same way. It was such a compelling upon me, I believe, that came from God, that said, you're going to make sure that he departs this earth with dignity properly, whether he's going to hell or not, hell or heaven, whatever it is, he's still going to leave here with dignity. And the father that was never present for me, the father that has let me down multiple times, the father that was just so messed up, but it's still a good man in some way. God said to me, you're going to take care of everything. I picked out his casket. He had no suits and all that. Um, I never knew what size my dad was. I never knew what shoe size, shirt size, nothing. And I remember the funeral home calling me, asking me, well, um, we need suit, we need shirt, tie, this and the third. And I remember going shopping for him. And I didn't go to Portobello, Bella, I think is what they call it, Portobello. I didn't go to another. I went to a actual suit store, and I just said, give me a size. I think I said a size 42 suit, slim. Never knew the size my father wore. I just thought to myself, I think he had 40. He looked like he had about a 42 slim. Got a black suit, got him a size 16 and a half neck, white dress shirt, tie, socks, underclothes, everything. And I'll never forget when we went to go view him, they said, you picked out his exact sizes in everything. Everything fit him to the T. And people couldn't believe when they walked into the funeral. They was like, Carlton looked good. I was proud. I was a proud son. I remember my biological mother, she couldn't make it. She was sick. And She was watching it online and she said, Jarrell, your dad looks good. And was proud that although my father, who was not a father to me, I was still yet a son to him. And amazing funeral. I did the eulogy. From A to Z, I was present. I remember we were going to the funeral, to the burial ground, cemetery. And in the last moments, I said, I want to make sure he goes all the way down. I watched them lower him. I did not want to move from that space. And before he went down, I remember sticking my hand on his coffin. And I said to him, Dad, although you were not present for me, I'm here all the way until you're lowered into this ground, because I'm still your son. I said, sleep in peace. I love you, and I will always be your son. And they lowered him into the coffin, into the ground. God dealt with my heart. The Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father, and your days will be long in the earth. And I want to say this to anybody that's struggling with honoring your parents, if they're still here, still alive. They've hurt you, they've disappointed you, broken relationships, whatever it is, make it right. Truth is, I really hated my dad at one point. But I want to say to any person, any child whose parent is still alive and they're here, you might have a broken relationship with them, a distorted relationship with them, a distant relationship with them. I'm telling you, honor them. Even if they have done you wrong, honor them. Ask God to deal with your heart, to accept what has happened, and for God to turn your cold heart into a heart of forgiveness and love. You only get one mother, one father. I wish I had more time with my dad. That was not granted to me. But the little bit of time that I did spend with him, and the most time I spent with him, was on his deathbed. I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to fix what he should have fixed. But truth is, he was not man enough to fix. Just because he was my dad doesn't mean he was man enough to fix what was broken. Sometimes people that are broken can't possibly fix something because them themselves are too broken to fix anything. But thank God that I was raised and brought up under the fear of God. And as a believer, as a Christian, as a man of God, a pastor, a man of God, a leader, it was no way that I was going to allow him to pass on without doing my part as a son. It's hard. That's just the truth. Especially when they weren't present, especially when they didn't show up. It's hard. That's just the truth. It's hard. But there's still an obligation, and that obligation is to do your part as a child. Make it right. And watch this. I now live in peace, knowing that I honored him all the way until the grave. Hate transformed into honoring because I allowed God to deal with my heart. And I'm asking that you allow God to deal with yours too.